Have you ever noticed that some women who once glowed with affection for their husbands now carry a quiet bitterness instead? It's subtle at first. Fewer smiles, colder eyes, conversations that end with sighs instead of laughter. This change doesn't happen overnight. It builds slowly, from years of small disappointments, unspoken feelings, and emotional neglect. And for many women, it isn't hatred that grows. It's hurt that was never healed. So today, we're uncovering 7 real reasons why women start hating their husbands as they age. If you stay until the end, you'll not only understand the truth behind this resentment, you might also discover how to heal it before it's too late. Let's begin. Reason 1. The slow death of emotional connection. In the early years, love feels alive. Couples talk for hours, dream together, and can't get enough of each other's company. But over time, that connection often fades, not because of a fight or betrayal, but because of neglect. Conversations turn into routines. How was your day? Replaces, how are you really feeling? And silence slowly fills the spaces where laughter once lived. Many husbands see this quiet as comfort, but for their wives, that silence feels like loneliness. Women crave emotional closeness. When that disappears, they don't just feel distant, they feel invisible. Love rarely ends in explosions. It fades in silence. When a husband stops listening, stops asking, and stops seeing, his wife stops feeling connected. And when that connection dies, resentment quietly takes its place. Reason 2. The invisible weight of unfair responsibility. Behind most long marriages is a woman who carried more than anyone noticed. She managed the home, the meals, the children, the appointments, and the emotional well-being of everyone around her. Even when both partners worked, she carried the mental load. The reminders, the lists, the endless details that kept life running smoothly. At first, she did it out of love, later, out of habit. But eventually it began to feel like a burden she never agreed to carry alone. Her husband may think, I've always worked hard, and that's true. But she worked too, in ways that were never counted, never praised, never thanked. When one person carries the weight of two, love starts to feel heavy, and over time, exhaustion turns into quiet anger. She doesn't want perfection. She wants partnership. When she doesn't get it, her love doesn't disappear. It simply hardens into resentment. Reason 3. Sacrifices that no one acknowledged. Ask a woman who's been married for decades about her past, and she'll often tell you about the things she gave up. The dreams, the career, the hobbies, the version of herself she left behind to build a life with someone else. In her younger years, those sacrifices felt noble. But as time passes and no one ever says thank you, pride turns into pain. She remembers the nights she stayed up with sick kids while her husband slept. The weekends she cooked and cleaned while he relaxed. The years she supported his dreams while putting hers on hold. She doesn't want pity. She just wants to be seen. Because unrecognized sacrifice doesn't feel like love. It feels like being forgotten. A few sincere words of gratitude can heal years of hurt, but silence only deepens the wound. Reason 4. When communication fades into silence. At first, couples talk easily. There's laughter, curiosity, connection. But over time, conversations shrink into logistics and errands. What's for dinner? Did you pay the bill? Who's picking up the grandkids? Many husbands mistake this quiet for peace, but for their wives, that silence feels like emotional abandonment. Women don't need constant chatter. They need emotional presence. They need to feel heard, really heard. A distracted nod or half-hearted response can hurt more than an argument. And after years of feeling ignored, she stops trying to talk, not because she's out of words, but because she's realized no one's really listening. And that's when resentment begins to grow, not from shouting, but from silence. Reason 5. The decline of physical intimacy. As couples age, affection often fades. The kisses grow fewer. The hugs disappear. The small gestures of touch that once felt natural now feel forgotten. For many women, this loss isn't about sex. It's about feeling wanted, feeling seen as a woman, not just a wife. When her husband stops reaching for her hand, she doesn't think he's tired. She thinks he doesn't want me anymore. And that thought cuts deep. Intimacy isn't only physical, it's emotional proof that love still lives. Without it, even a stable marriage can start to feel empty. The truth is, affection doesn't fade with age. Effort does. A simple touch can say what 1,000 words can't. I still see you. I still choose you. Reason 6. Growing apart in lifestyle and purpose. As years pass, many couples stop growing together. She wants to explore, to travel, to try new things. He's content with the same chair, the same shows, the same routine. At first, she accepts it. Then, she tolerates it. But over time, she starts to feel like she's living beside her husband, not as him. Her frustration isn't about differences. It's about the lack of effort. She doesn't need him to love what she loves. She just wants him to care enough to try. Because when one partner stops investing in shared life, the other starts grieving the bond they used to have. And that grief slowly transforms into resentment. Reason 7. The ghosts of unresolved conflict. Time doesn't heal wounds that were never acknowledged. Old arguments, hurtful words, broken promises, they don't disappear. They linger, quietly shaping the way she feels even decades later. He may have forgotten, but he hasn't. Because those moments symbolize every time she felt dismissed, unheard, or unimportant. And in her later years, with more time to reflect, those memories hit harder than ever. That's when love can harden into bitterness. Not because she stopped caring, but because she never felt understood. But here's the truth. Resentment doesn't mean love is gone. It means pain was never healed. Healing begins with honesty, with words like, I know I hurt you. I'm sorry. Thank you for staying. It's never too late to rebuild what's been broken. Even the decades of silence can be undone with empathy and care. Because women don't hate their husbands for aging. They hate feeling unseen while doing it beside them. Marriage doesn't die when passion fades. It dies when empathy does. But empathy can always return. Love can be rebuilt. Respect can be restored. Connection can be revived. One honest word, one gentle touch, one shared moment at a time. If this message touched you, share it. Because understanding isn't just the first step to saving a marriage, it's the first step to loving again.